that, fair catch, they would have got the ball probably at the 18-yard line. But again, the Centennial offense is, Reynolds is definitely worried about that offense. They know they can get 1 or 2 yards at any time, and they just wanted to make sure that Centennial wasn't going to get that first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Raiders, as the ball is marked at the 11-yard line of Reynolds. Starting deep in their own territory with 9:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter, just starting the second half of action. Sharpen straight ahead. This is Osborne. Osborne breaks a couple tackles. Jake Osborne again. Just the quick feet. That's the one thing that I think I've been impressed most with are his quick feet. He has great balance, but his feet continue to move so quickly especially when he comes into contact with the defensive players.
Yeah, he keeps him close to the ground. He's not a high-knee runner. That way he can make the cuts quicker laterally. Again, a good lead block by 22 Brian McManus.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now as the ball is marked at the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Raiders as they get out of a hole that time. This is Osborne. Osborne breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, gets to the outside. He's rounded another tackle, and it looks like Osborne has another first down as Jake Osborne. Well, I tell you, he's doing a lot of work on his own, breaking tackles at the line of scrimmage and just trying to get into that secondary.
Yeah, I thought Bostic was right there on the play, number 72, but Jake just ran right through the arms of Bostic and made a great gain.
Jake Osborne comes out on fire here in the second half. So it'll be 1st and 10 again as the Raiders pick up their 2nd consecutive first down on his 2nd consecutive play, with Jake Osborne carrying the load right now. Banker splits left. Felton to the right. And a little mix-up. Sharpen comes to the outside, keeps the ball coming up, tries to turn upfield, but a great open field tackle. Number 25, Steve Huffman.
Well, he's got to turn those up, get the yardage you can in there, and instead of trying to make the big play. If he would have cut up right away, he would have had a 3, 4, 5-yard gain.
As it is, they were able to string it out, and Sharpen is hurt on the play. It appears as though...
This 3-4 defense that Centennial's running, Reynolds so far this half on all the plays, the nose guard for Centennial, if he could turn it up right there, he would have had a play. Great open field tackle.
Huffman doing a good job.
Reynolds has guessed, or Centennial's guessed wrongly, but Reynolds has guessed properly on each of the runs, and they're running away from that slanting nose guard. I don't know if they have a key on him or what, but that takes him out of the play, and it gives an extra blocker virtually to the Reynolds line.
So the Raiders now going to have 2nd and 10 as a new quarterback is coming into the ball game. Number 11, Kurt Bowman. As Sharpen went off the field, looked like he had a twisted limb of some kind. It looked like it might have been an ankle or knee. We won't speculate on that, but he did go off the field. And the Raiders just getting the rest of their folks back on the field. A little bit of disorganization right now. Bowman at quarterback.
And movement on the line.
Yeah, movement on the line, which, very often will happen with regard to a new quarterback. A little bit different cadence and everything comes in. And Bowman looks for the quick pass and unable to complete the pass. There's a little bit of a discussion here. It looks like we did have motion on the play. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Raiders as Osborne comes back in, replacing number 33, Earl Ross, who was in the lineup for that play. So it'll be 3rd down as they decline that penalty, so it'll bring up 3rd and 10. The Eagles hoping that they can stop him here with Felton in at quarterback. His first test under fire. Felton brings him up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 as the ball is marked at the 33-yard line of Reynolds. Out of the I formation again. Bowman pitches to Osborne. Osborne downfield.
Got him.
Downfield, excellent job. Osborne hits Felton down the field, and Felton makes the catch, and they get the first down. Jake Osborne doing it all now.
Boy, he had to dodge that tackler. That was a great job. Looked like it just put Eli Pardue in the game as a corner, and he made the tackle. Used his speed to catch the receiver.
And
great job by Osborne, though, wasn't it? Avoiding that tackle and then delivering a ball like that.
Boy, I tell you what, Osborne has done everything. There we see the pass from Bowman. Osborne looking downfield, has Felton wide open, and it looked like Felton came down on the ball.
Yeah, they'll knock the wind out.
And he's still down on the field. And he is up, running off under his own power. So the Raiders now will have 1st and 10 inside the Centennial territory. Ball is marked at the 37-yard line of Centennial. So the Raiders are starting to put it together now, mixing it up, pulling a few things out of the hat.
I still think they're going to need their leader Sharpen back in there to be able to, you know, sustain anything over a period of time.
Quarterback gives to Osborne, and Osborne just dragging people along.
Like Derek Jocks, number 74, the right defensive tackle. Big boy, and he just kind of stood him up and let the linebackers come in to clean up. But Jake, what a strong runner, huh?
Boy, he was dragging him along there. Jake Osborne. And so Kurt Bowman being thrown into the fire. Well, I tell you, this is a big game for him, too, as he brings him up again.
Yeah, Bowman, normally they're free safety. I wonder if it'll still go both ways.
2nd and 7. Looking to pass as Bowman back. Being pursued, has a man down there. Short
nice.
man hits the man short. Good job. Number 13,
Maroney.
Gabriel Maroney, comes up with a big catch. And I'll tell you, Bowman showed a lot of poise that time as he was under pressure, rolled out, kept his head up, and found Maroney downfield for the 1st down as the Raiders continue to march now under the tutelage of Kurt Bowman. There you see Gabriel Maroney making the nice catch and getting the 1st down.
Yeah, he's, you know, for a junior quarterback, I think the first time he's probably been in there all year. He's doing a real good job.
1st and 10. Ball marked at the 20-yard line. Give us to Osborne. Well, I tell you what, it wasn't a clean handoff. It was actually almost a missed handoff. And Jake just ripped it away from Bowman and said, I want the ball, I'm going to run. And he is not to be denied. Jake Osborne having a great night.
Well, he's one of those players just looks like he loves the game, just loves the contact of football, and I think he'd enjoy running over anybody out there. It doesn't matter, it has to be on the other team.
So it'll be 2nd down and 5 now. The ball is marked at the 15-yard line of Centennial. The I formation. Give us to McManus up.
I thought they faked to him. That was a great play.
Yeah, really. Bowman carried that out so well. It looked like he was going to go to Osborne, and Bowman was actually tackled, but he'd already given the ball off to McManus. So Kurt Bowman doing a great job here of replacing the injured Brian Sharpen.
Again, they're running that inside veer on that play with the fullback, and again they guessed right. The nose guard for Centennial slanted the opposite way of the runner, which puts the guard right on the inside backer, and it gives him a little bit of running room.
So 1st and goal now for the Reynolds Raiders as they have marched down with 5:15 to go here in the 3rd quarter. They march all the way down now. Quick pitch out to Osborne. He's got the outside, tries to cut back in the pursuit.
Oh, he's still on his feet.
Still going. Jake Osborne. Boy, I thought he was down about 3 times. I thought they had stopped him up, but he just keeps right on churning. And Osborne now is down. Boy, this would be a killer for them. Not to have Osborne, especially down here on the goal line. So we'll wait and see what that is. But we have an official's timeout on the field as they tend to Jake Osborne, who is down on the field. Reynolds has done just a fantastic job, though, Terry, in terms of controlling the football, mixing up their plays. And Kurt Bowman, you just can't say enough for the job that he has done coming in and taking over for the injured Brian Sharpen.
Yeah, I think you know, it helps too. I think the offense has really helped Kurt out. You know, they're giving him some time to throw. You know, they're executing up front. They're trying to make his job a little bit easier as a quarterback. But hey, as you said, you know, when it's time to throw, you got to deliver, and he's done that, and he's done it very well.
Jake Osborne getting off.
He must have had a cramp, I think, in his calf.
And he jogs off the field, so that's good to see. A player of his ability, you hate to see him go out. You see Coach Chris Knutson there on the sideline trying to get his players pumped up so maybe they can stop this Reynolds rolling steamroller here that they've got going. They are really putting it to Centennial right now. And
tried a little reverse, not there, nothing.
Well, I tell you, Centennial had such great penetration that time that I don't think anything would have gone at that point because they had everybody in the backfield. Almost Bowman could have handed off to a blue shirt just as well as a white shirt that time.
Man, Derek, number 74, Derek Jocks was in the backfield on that, made a good tackle. Just stuffed the play before it could even develop.
So the 3rd and goal now from the 9-yard line, just inside the 10. And the Raiders coming to the line of scrimmage. Chad Schwing split to the left. Felton split to the right. Out of the I formation. Felton comes in motion across the field. Bowman gives it to Osborne. Osborne, touchdown. Jake Osborne, 9-yard touchdown run by Jake Osborne with 3:48 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Osborne comes back in, and he is full of fire when he comes in and scores from 9 yards out. Just an excellent job. That time he was again hit at the line of scrimmage, but everybody sustained their block, and boy, Osborne's not going to go down on that first contact.
No way. Yeah, what an outstanding game. Just think Reynolds could have scored at the end of that second half.
John Travis with the extra point. It's up. Looked like he hooked it, and he did. So that time Travis unable to put it in, and that could be significant down the road, especially if Reynolds continues to be able to dominate the football the way that they have here so far in the second half. So our score now is 28-20. We'll watch the touchdown run. There's a great cut. I mean, he stopped on a dime, made the cut back, and followed his block. Excellent.
I don't think anybody touched him on that, did they?
No, McManus got a great lead block that time.
Yeah.
Kicked the end out and enabled him to get into the end zone. So the Centennial Eagles now lead 28-20 as the Reynolds Raiders draw first blood here in the second half.
Again, I think they did what they had to do. They kept on to the ball. This was a long drive. It ate up a lot of the clock, kept the ball out of Centennial's hands.
And they really have, you know, the confidence factor in if there is a momentum swing, it may have been the fact that Kurt Bowman was able to come in and lead him down to a score. Because as you said, you know, they need to have Brian Sharpen as much as possible. But when you can bring your second-string quarterback off the bench and he can deliver the way that Kurt Bowman did, well, you have to feel really good about that.
Yeah, major plus in that area for the Raiders.
Sean Travis to kick off. Pardue and Hampton back. This will be Hampton. Excuse me, that's Huffman, number 25. Steve Huffman gets to the outside.
Nice tackle.
Steve Huffman, number 25.
Great tackle. 45, Matt Elliott for Reynolds.
Let's go down to Rick Mass on the sideline. Rick?
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I'm down here with some of the ex-Raleigh girls. Some of them from way back, like 1972. And what's your name?
Lori Winkler.
And you were at the game, the championship game, I heard.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
great.
And your name is?
Penny Dubb.
I want to hear some of the girls' names.
Tracy Munson. Cheryl Pierce. Deborah Howe. Deanna Slider. Shannon Moscow. LaDonna Elkins. Joyce Wells. Annie Bateman.
Okay. Come on, girl.
Dan Madden.
Okay.
Sue Romley.
Okay.
Jill Heiner.
Okay. We got them all. That's the Raleigh girls. And thanks a lot, guys. Back up to you.
Well, you can see Grote trying to run that option again to the outside, and Reynolds has definitely made some adjustments here in the second half and has not allowed them to, number one, get the ball to Pardue up the middle, and number two, they've really shut down any option on the outside.
That whole right side of the Reynolds defense, Davis, 75, Nolan, 51, and Maroney, 13, just smothered him on the play.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 now as the ball is marked at the 40-yard line of Centennial.
Boy, those three on attack, that's meat on the hoof. Boy, there's some big guys out there.
Jesse Brand and Steve Huffman to the right side. Watkins comes out the right side as well. Grote downfield.
Got him deep again.
Looking for Watkins.
Good coverage that time.
Boy, there were three folks around him that time. They were not going to get it into Watkins that time.
Yeah, on that motion, 45, Matt Elliott for Reynolds, he got deep fast, and he stayed on top of that play. That was a real good job by Elliott.
They have learned that Watkins, and when Victor Hampton's in there, they are going to go deep, and they're going to go deep very quick.
Yes, right. I tell you, Watkins goes in motion, they've thrown every time. So, you know, I think that's a good key for Reynolds. Now, if Centennial does something off that, like a little counter trap, I think that would really surprise Reynolds.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 now from their own 40-yard line for the Centennial Eagles, as they've just not been able to get on track here in the second half. They scored 28 first half points, but nothing so far here in the second half. Right quarterback. Having the option to the right. Grote to the outside, gets around the corner. Down the sideline, has the first down, and is finally pulled out of bounds on the 44-yard line for the first down is Jason Grote as he turns up the sideline. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Baker and Maroney on that tackle.
Jason Grote with a good job that time of reading. Got around the corner, able to turn it and get upfield for the first down. That was a big play for him. That's their first down.
I thought that Reynolds defense had it strung out, but then the blockers just kept after it and let it enable him to turn the corner.
So Grote brings him back up again. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line of Reynolds. This is Watkins trying to get to the outside. Very deep this time is Watkins. Watkins unable to get over and turn the corner or anything.
Another great job by Elliott coming up in the backfield to stop that play.
Well, I tell you what, that was really deep. That was about 8 to 10 yards deep that time when he made the pitch. And you know, it's pretty tough to get much out of that unless you have absolute perfect execution.
Yeah. Well, Maroney got some good penetration, and Davis got some real good penetration from the tackle and the defensive end. And that just, blew the play right off the bat on that option. Made Grote go back about 5 yards into his backfield. That just blows an option.
So it'll be 2nd and 11 now. One on the play. 46-yard line of Reynolds. Power eye to the right. Grote looks, has a man over the top. Excellent pump fake. That is Jesse Brand is going to go all the way for the touchdown. A 46-yard touchdown pass from Jason Grote to Jesse Brand. And Terry, that pump was absolutely perfectly timed. I'm not sure that it was intentional, but Brand, you got to give Brand credit too, because he stayed with his pattern all the way, and that safety just sucked in on that first pump by Jason Grote, and Grote hit him just perfectly in stride. Jesse Brand goes all the way, 46-yard with 2:16 to go here in the third quarter, and the Eagles get on the board in the second half.
Again, it was a great play action, too. I know Pardue, I think Reynolds is keying a little bit on Pardue. He made a nice fake inside, and as you said, Grote had the good pump fake to enable him to get about 2-3 more steps behind the secondary. Nice play.
Grote will attempt the extra point. It's up, and no good as Grote hooks one off to the left. So both teams have missed their extra point here in the second half, but both teams have also scored a touchdown. So we have 34-20 now in favor of the Centennial Eagles. And the explosiveness again of Centennial. They looked like they were starting to bog down a little. We'll watch it here. Good pump fake. We didn't see the pump fake, but then he just lost it over the top, and Huffman just kept going and split the two safeties. Actually went right between them, and the safeties really came up quickly on that pump fake.
Again, that's the respect that they give to Pardue. He's such a great runner inside. They just kind of sucked on that fake, and it just sure opened up in the middle.
Grote has thrown the ball really well tonight. That was great touch. That wasn't just a fire, a bullet to throw at somebody. That was a very nice touch, just over the safety net. But Jesse Brand caught that in full stride and didn't have to even hesitate. He was able to catch it and just keep pumping. So a good catch by Brand, and then Brand takes it all the way in the end zone on a pass from Grote. So,
Grote throughout the night shown that he's had a real nice arm. He can throw deep. He's got the good touch. He can throw the sideline pass. It's a fine quarterback.
And he's quick enough. He can run that off really well too. Grote on the kickoff now. This will be Jake Osborne. Jake Osborne fumbles it, finally picks it up to 1. Brings it upfield. Osborne finds a seam. He could go all the way. Jake Osborne kicker to beat, and Grote takes him out of bounds.
Great open field tackle again. That's two long TDs I think Osborne would have had except for Grote.
Well, I tell you what, Jake Osborne fumbles the ball around and just all of a sudden makes something out of nothing, and that's twice, as you mentioned, Terry, that he has fumbled the ball, and things have turned out really well. So the Raiders right back with a lot of momentum headed their way as Kurt Bowman is still in the game at quarterback, number 11. Bowman brings him up 1st and 10 now. The ball is marked at the 47-yard line of Centennial. Quick pitch to Osborne from the back. He cuts up inside. Osborne twists and turns. It just keeps pumping. I don't know how he does it, Terry, but boy, I'll tell you what, that guy can get some yards for you.
Just got guys hanging all over him, too. He just wants that extra yard no matter what. They got a piece of his shirt. They're trying to strip the ball from him. He's still going.
Let's take another look at that kickoff run of Jake Osborne. As the ball goes back, he fumbles it, actually doesn't handle it real cleanly, drops it down, finally picks it up at about the 1 yard line and brings it upfield.
You know, we didn't see it, but that they have the 4 lead blockers for Osborne on that kickoff return. Looked like they hung with him pretty well on that kickoff, too. They waited till he picked up the ball.
Herman comes in motion to the left. Bowman gives the ball to Osborne. Osborne gets to the outside. Almost had him in the backfield, but somebody tries to get a hand on him, and nobody's going to bring him down with one hand. Osborne gets to the outside, and looks like he's pretty close to the first down.
That play looked like it was designed to go inside the tackle. He saw that it was jammed up. He just made that great quick cut. He talked about his quick feet to the outside and almost got the first down.
So we'll have a timeout for a measurement here. They bring in the chains to measure for that first down. Well, I tell you, they have just ridden Jake Osborne's legs this second half. He's definitely over 100 yards so far, and all-purpose yards as well, because he returns kickoffs and punts and really does a fine job for the Raiders. Just about 3 or 4 inches short of the first down, so it'll be third down now in inches for the Raiders, as the ball will be marked at we'll call it the 37-yard line of Centennial. Both of these teams not afraid to put some points on the board. As their offense, I think, similar philosophy in terms of they feel that the other team is going to have to outscore them.
Yeah,
because they're definitely going to put some points on the board.
Yeah, I guess I was looking up some old scores of Reynolds Centennial, and in the past, the middle 70s, the early 80s, the Reynolds Centennial games used to be like 42 to 43, 35, 36. They just have some real barn burners with a lot of scoring. And it looks like we're headed for one of those kind of games tonight.
Well, last year the score was 38 to 25 in favor of the Reynolds Raiders, so a big high-scoring game last year as well. Raiders scrambling around to get set. Bowman back to pass, has a man open, and that time it was a little bit of inexperience. That time he had a man in the middle. He didn't have to throw it quite as hard. He had Banker down the middle.
I think, he's worried about overthrowing it. It's best not to, if there's going to be a tight play, it's best to throw it low and let the receiver go for it rather than risk an interception. I'm not sure if that was going through his mind, but it looked good from here.
So it'll be 4th in inches now. A crucial play here for the Raiders as the clock winds down with 34 seconds to go in the third quarter. 4th in inches from the 37-yard line. And this is McManus. McManus fumbles the ball.
Centennial ball.
And what a break. A pressure for the Raiders and a great break for the Centennial Eagles as they finally stopped the Raiders here in the second half. That's the first time the Raiders have been stopped, and they stopped themselves with a fumble as the Eagles will take over on their own 36-yard line with 23 seconds to go in the third quarter. And boy, did Centennial dodge a bullet there as the Raiders are on the march again.
It looks like Centennial's keeping their momentum with that play.
Rowe brings him up. Pardue the up back.
Nolan.
And there's a horn that ends the third quarter with our score here, the Centennial Eagles 34 and the Reynolds Raiders 20. And well, I tell you, they are still hitting, and there is still a lot of football to be had here with the fourth quarter coming up. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with our fourth quarter right after this.
With all the burning environmental issues out there today, what can one person do to protect Oregon's environment? At the Environmental Federation of Oregon, we make it easy. Because through us...
As Huffman going upfield, and throw just overthrows him. Boy, if he would have caught that material, he was gone.
Yeah.
got that seam, and again, Reynolds seems to have a tendency to come up and make a play either at the ball or take the fake, and their defensive backs seem to be coming up rather than dropping back.
Well, normal coverages, though, in normal coverage, you can have a free safety to help you in the middle. They don't have that, so those quick posts or those short posts are going to be wide open all night.
Grote on the option to the outside. He's got the corner. He's got it sealed off. He's down the sideline. Jason Grote down the sideline. He's at the 20. He cuts back, and he is tripped up at the 20-yard line and is down at the 18.
It looked like that was Steve Huffman on that, the wide receiver on that great block out there. It just sealed the hole inside. What a beautiful play by Huffman.
Huffman does a perfect wide receiver block in that he really doesn't strike anybody. He just gets in the way and seals it off. And Grote turns it up on the option, keeping the ball and all the way down the sideline to the 21-yard line. Correction, the 18-yard line. A little confused because of the soccer lines that are on the field, but it's the 18-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 now for the Eagles at the Reynolds 18-yard line. Grote the quarterback, give us to Pardue, and Pardue is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And I'm not sure what happened there, but another flag goes down. There's 2 flags on the play, so we'll wait and see what happens here. As the official is escorting one of the players off the field. We'll wait and see as they clear things up here and see what the play is. Steve Huffman came out the field.
Okay, that one is dead. Got a dead ball, personal foul, ejection.
We have a personal foul and ejection indicated against Centennial. First penalty was wiped off.
Well, that could be, if that was Huffman, that could be a big loss for Centennial.
Yeah, that really does hurt.
He's one of their main men.
It's funny that they would wave off that first flag. I mean, you know,
unless it was also on the offense.
It could have been. Oh, they call a face mask. I see the official there talking to Coach Knutson. They call the face mask and then they wipe it off, and that I can see why Coach Knutson's a little upset about that. They see the face mask.
I thought that was offside if it was on the defense, unless they called the face mask on the offense, which is very unusual. I don't think I've ever heard that.
I know.
Yeah.
So interesting call here, as it'll be second and a whole chunk of yardage. We'll say second and 25. Grote brings him up now. Ball is marked at the 37-yard line of Reynolds. Grote back to pass. And ball is underthrown that time. Good coverage by number 45. It's Matt Elliott.
Yeah, Elliott's had a real good half so far this ball game. Took him a little time to get on track, but he's played outstanding football since the kickoff of the third quarter.
So it'll be third down now and 25 as the ball is marked at the 37-yard line. And Grote brings the play in. And still some discussion about that last call on the sideline.
Well, Reynolds' defense, they haven't loosened up at all either. They're still right there at the line of scrimmage.
This is Grote on the option. Grote trying to get to the outside, trying to turn it back the inside. Grote gets around, breaks another tackle, still trying to get around. Finally, Grote is brought down.
Dan Nolan, 51.
Brought down at the 49-yard line of Reynolds, and Centennial will be forced to punt here. As great defensive effort that time. Exciting as it may, we see it here. Grote looking for a hole on the offside to run the option.
Number 40 right here, Trinity Fox, did a great job of slowing him up and not running to the outside. That let the other defenders get in there. Nice
Good
kick.
punt, gee. Great punt. Osborne downfield. Ball goes out of bounds on about the 16-yard line, 17-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 17. And the Raiders now have an opportunity as the momentum has definitely shifted in their favor.
Again, they got 2 touchdowns to make up, though. That's a lot of ground against this Centennial team. They got 80 yards to go on this first one, so we'll see.
Terry, stamina and endurance has to be kind of starting to take hold a little bit as the size of Reynolds as we've been able to see, the size of Reynolds has enabled them to gain control of that line of scrimmage at this point.
Well, that helps on the power game and, you know, in their pass protection. You know, at the same time, the speed of Centennial is making those Reynolds guys, those big guys, chase them. So that's got to tire them out a little bit, too.
Bowman still at quarterback for the Raiders. Fantasy up back, Osborne the tailback. Bowman back to pass, looking to man down deep. Got a guy down deep, and the ball is thrown.
Super coverage.
It really was. Looked like Conway, number 1.
Carlos Conway.
Conway had perfect position, did not allow the receiver to come back to the inside. Is that swing on the potential receiver down there? So it'll be 2nd and 10 now. From their own 17-yard line, the Reynolds Raiders down 34-20 with 9:52 to go here in the 4th quarter as we're at Centennial High School. Centennial Eagles leading by 2 touchdowns. It's 28-14 at halftime. Both teams have scored once here in the second half. Definitely the defenses have made some adjustments. Kurt Bowman, the quarterback, drops back to pass. Has Osborne out on the screen. That was very close to being a lateral, but it was ruled a forward pass. But Centennial, they're almost lucky they didn't complete that, Terry.
Yeah, Eric Fogel was right there on that play. He read that all the way. I thought he was going to intercept it.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 now, as all of a sudden the Raiders have gone to the passing game rather than the grinding out. Jake Osborne was running the ball so well.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised they've gone to the, 100% pure pass instead of mixing it up, because they were having such good success with that.
3rd and 10 from their own 17. And just gets a handoff away, and Osborne is swarmed under, just smothered. But I'll tell you what, they were stunning on that and blitzing on that. They brought the linebacker up, and he shot the gap there and just jumped on Bowman as he made the handoff.
Yeah, they sent both Sholmus and Dyer in there, and that kind of jammed the play right up. There was a little collision up there, and then Micah Dennis came up, just cleaned up on the runner.
So it'll be 4th and 10 now, as the Raiders will have to kick. Banker back to do the kicking. Jesse Brand deep to receive. Wobbly end over end punt. Fumble. And the Raiders
ball
on the ground. The Raiders come up with
play.
it. Jesse Brand, not a good decision that time, as he came up and tried to make a shoestring catch. And the Raiders get a big break now, as they have an opportunity, as we've talked all second half, it seems like, about the momentum and how it has swung to the Raiders here in the second half.
Both teams, they've given up a big fumble. Both teams missed their extra point. It's kind of an even half. The momentum's not going totally one team or the other. It's just kind of swinging mildly one side or the other. They got to capitalize.
So Bowman brings them up now out of the I formation. Osborne the tailback, Manessy up back. In the pass over the middle, and that's Gabriel Maroney.
Now that's the time where you need that touch pass. You didn't have to really rifle that thing because he was wide open. But again, as a junior quarterback, young, inexperienced, that's going to happen.
Yeah, the inexperience there is a key thing. I think that there you have to just find out under fire, and no better time than against the #1 team in the league. There we see the missed punt opportunity for the Eagles, and the Raiders making the big recovery. So it'll be 2nd and 10 now from their own 40-yard line for the Reynolds Raiders, down by 2 touchdowns. Bowman looking for the pass, and it's picked off that time. Excellent job coming there. The linebacker dropping back in the coverage.
Looks like Dustin Dyer, number 67. Played that beautifully. Stayed underneath the receiver, read the eyes of the quarterback, and just good hands for a linebacker. Normally they don't have the good hands like that, but boy, he nailed that baby. He wanted some more yardage out of that too.
He also plays on that offensive line, so playing both ways, and we'll watch it here. Just an excellent job. He gets back, and boy, that was a tough catch that he made right there. It was behind him, but it all with the hands. Excellent job, Dustin Dyer, 67. Rote brings him up out of the power eye. Give this to Watkins this time. Watkins tries to get to the right side and swarmed under.
Aaron Gergen and Trevor Budge on the play.
Well, I tell you, the Raiders have just bottled up that offense just totally here in the second half. They had the one touchdown pass, but other than that, the running game has done absolutely nothing in the second half.
Yeah, with the explosiveness of Centennial, that's a little surprising. That just shows that this Reynolds defense has got some quality players.
So it'll be second down and about 14. Ball is marked at the 46-yard line now of the Eagles. Grote back, running the option. Tries to cut upside. He looked like he had something to the outside. He had the block set up, had the corner taken care of, and he decided to turn it up on the inside.
A great pursuit from the backside on that play. Just chased him down from behind because he did have something up the field.
So it'll be 3rd and 12 now. Grote gets the play from the sidelines.
He read that really well. He came right down the line of scrimmage and again chased Grote down from the backside. I don't think he was expecting that.
Grote brings him up now. Single setback. Straight ahead. That's Pardue and
Matt Davis. Dan Nolan.
They have just totally bottled up that middle, and Pardue has not been able to pop anything here in the second half. So the Eagles will be forced to punt, and Reynolds doing just an outstanding job on defense.
Yeah, it looks like they're just playing it straight, too. I was trying to see if they were stunting their linebackers the last couple series, but I didn't see any of that. They're just playing honest football. I thought he was going to run it.
So did I. He had just an opportunity. There was absolutely no one there to contain or back. And the decision, holy cow. I thought he was going to go, and he would have had a big first down for the Eagles.
Reynolds wanted that. They had that return set up. They wanted that return real bad.
Ball goes out of bounds as it was. It was a great punt. Ball goes out of bounds on the 10-yard line. But he had all day to run.
I think he was a little surprised that nobody pressuring him.
I would anticipate that the Reynolds coaches are probably going to make a comment about that the next time that Centennial punts, to make sure that they have somebody to contain there. 6:01 to go here in the ball game, with the Centennial Eagles leading 34-20. The Raiders 1st and 10 on their own 10-yard line. Kurt Bowman at quarterback. Bowman looking for a receiver to the outside.
Nice throw, good catch.
Oh, and the defensive back had that ball intercepted, but Jake Osborne catches the ball. Conway, it looked like, Carlos Callaway had a chance and just tried to go up and catch the receiver and missed him. So it was a big first down, as that gets him out of a big hole that time.
Looks like Centennial's made, since Bowman's been in the game, they've made an adjustment defensively. They're going with a split 5 defensive look, nobody over the center, and they're dropping off their outside linebackers.
Bowman again to throw, and overthrows that time. I'll tell you, Bowman is really poised in that pocket. There was a lot of pressure on him that time, and he sat back in the pocket and just waited till he found his receiver. Although he overthrew him, it was a very good throw and a very good play by Bowman that time, as the Raiders come up quickly to the line of scrimmage.
I noticed with Bowman, though, as a quarterback, he's not as relaxed as Sharp, and he doesn't stay in the pocket quite as long. He has a tendency to scramble out.
A lot of pressure, dumps it off to McManus. McManus cuts it back, and McManus cuts right into the pursuit.
Nice tackle.
Well, I tell you, that time McManus did not see the pursuit coming. He was concentrating on the people on the outside containing him, and he turned back in and
turned back right into Eric Fogel. Boy, he did at lunchtime.
Fogel with the big hit.
We've seen a few of those tonight. Love those big hits.
3rd and 7 now for the Raiders. Ball is marked on the 31-yard line. McManus in motion. Back to pass, and the pass is overthrown, and that'll be tough. Probably decline the penalty. I would anticipate that Centennial will decline that, as McManus jumped on the count.
Yeah, put him at a 4th down and long. I'm sure they will decline. again, that was another situation where, you know, had the play been good, that type of pass.
We have motion on the offense, declined.
Screen pass, you can't rifle the ball. He's just rifling the ball right now. He's got no touch. You know, I think he's just not real comfortable with his spot as a quarterback.
I think the adrenaline is really flowing. You know, you think about it. When he first came in the ball game, as we watch Kurt Bowman here, has things pretty well set up right here. And a good job by McManus. He cuts back and splat right there. A big hit by the Eagles. And we see with 4th down now, the Raiders are going for it. 4th and 7. Bowman back over the middle.
It's got Maroney. Nice hit.
Maroney comes up with a big reception, so it's 1st and 10. Big play. Kurt Bowman, that time he just put the ball where Maroney could go up and get it.
Yeah, Jesse Brand, number 16, he came to challenge him, and Maroney just went right through him.
So 4:44, so the clock is a big thing that the Raiders have to be concerned about now, as timeout is taken on the field by the Eagles. And Coach Chris Knudsen wants to get his group together, and I think more just from an organizational standpoint, they want to make sure that they know their assignments, realize that the time is really a big thing here. They don't want to give up the big play. If Reynolds is going to march it down there and take 3 or 4 minutes to go down, that's fine, because there isn't going to be a lot of time left on the clock. So I think the main thing that they want to do is make sure that they contain as much as possible.
Yeah, make Reynolds just churn it out. Make him use 6, 7, 8 plays, 3 or 4, you know, 2 or 3 minutes anyway. And you never know, if you you know, if an offense stays out there and they make a lot of plays, they have a tendency to beat themselves. So it was a gutsy play on Reynolds' part, you know, that pass like that, right up the middle. You know, normally in a fourth and long like that, you want to go to the sidelines a little bit, not into the teeth of the secondary.
Of course, Gabriel Maroney throughout the year has really been a consistent receiver for them. A guy, as you said, Terry, that usually has a big size advantage on any defensive back that he goes up against, although Jesse Brand is good size himself at 6 foot. Gabriel Maroney,
6'5", that's quite a bit of the size advantage.
Goes up there and he really attacks that ball when it's in the air too. So Bowman did a nice job of putting it up there and letting him go after it. So it'll be 1st and 10 now. Ball marked at the 45-yard line of Reynolds with 4:44 to go here in the ball game. They're down by 2 touchdowns. Kurt Bowman at quarterback. Pitch outside to Osborne. They have the outside sealed off. McManus with a block.
Nice block, McManus.
And Jake Osborne goes down. And boy, they had that whole outside seal that had McManus leading, and he took the cornerback. And a big play for the Raiders as they get another 1st down.
19 yards on the run.
Yeah, it's really nice when you get your lead blocker out there into the secondary to you know, to mow some people down. And McManus is he's a good-sized kid. He's a super blocker.
Belton back to pass again, looking for a man. Got him wide open and
dropped it.
Unable to hang on.
Again, a little mix-up, I think, in the secondary for Centennial. Looked like they were, a couple of them were in zone and a couple of them were in man. Well, you do that, somebody's going to be wide open, and Reynolds found the right guy.
Just a little bit underthrown, but still a catchable ball, as Felton unable to come up with it that time. So it'll be 2nd and 10 now. 4:26 to go. The ball is marked at the 36-yard line of Centennial. Bowman brings him up. Herman comes split to the right. Osborne comes in motion to the right. Felton back. Ball is thrown down the field.
Nice defense.
Hampton that time on the D. Victor Hampton.
Ball was thrown outside. A good throw. Hampton wasn't going to let him make the move outside. He just ran shoulder to shoulder with him. Great job.
Intended for 85 Herman, but there is a flag on the play, a motion penalty against the Raiders.
I thought the quarterback moved prematurely on that play.
We'll see if they take the penalty.
Yeah, the illegal motion on the offense. Refused. 3rd down.
Used most of those penalties, those 5 yardage tonight. They've come back to haunt them a couple times. We'll see how this one comes out as the Raiders come up now. 3rd and 10. I formation. Felton in motion to the left again. Pitch to Osborne on the outside. Oh, good job of breaking the tackle by Jake Osborne. He's got a chance down the sideline. Another great move. And Osborne was trapped in the backfield and just split the seam between two Centennial defenders.
Yeah, I thought Fogel came there in the backfield. I thought sure he was going to make a tackle, but Jake just froze him on that like little choppy step of his, then just cut inside, then made another great cut outside.
So it's 1st and 10, and we see right there he split the two tacklers and got to the outside. Again, Grote doing a pretty good job of getting the angle and forcing Osborne to cut back into the pursuit. 1st and 10 for the Raiders now at their 17-yard line. Draw up the middle. This is Osborne to the outside. He makes a move. He cuts back over the center, and Osborne all the way down to the 3-yard line. Well, I'll tell you what, Jake Osborne has shown us that he is just one of the outstanding runners in the Mount Hood Conference.
Yeah, he's got a heart as big as a football, the way he plays this game.
He is not to be denied. You can just tell he wants to win. That will to win is one of those things that you don't teach people. They just have to have it inside of them. Jake Osborne is one of those people. 1st and goal now from the 3. Give us to McManus. McManus in for the touchdown. Brian McManus on the 3-yard run with 3:30 to go here in the ball game. Brian McManus makes the score now, 34-26. And Sean Travis will attempt the extra point here, crucial extra point, as he hooked his last one. And I'm sure the Centennial coaches also have to alert their team to the fact that, you know, Reynolds could very easily go for 2 here, fake the kick and go for 2, because if they're going to go for the win, eventually they will have to go for 2 at some point. Ball is down, it's up, and it's good. And there is a penalty. A flag comes in late. We'll see what happens. We'll see what is involved, and it could be a roughing the kicker. If it is, that's 15 yards on the kickoff, and so there's no reason that they won't try the onside kick now with 15-yard advantages. Things start to fall apart a little bit here for the Eagles.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned earlier on this drive, Centennial didn't want to give up the big play, and yet they did. Reynolds only took about a minute off the clock. Now there's all kinds of time for anything to happen. We could have a wild finish on this game.
So with the score at 34-27 in favor of the Eagles, the Raiders will be kicking off, but there will be a 15-yard penalty assessed against the Eagles, which will give the Raiders an opportunity to try an onside kick. And really,
they spot the ball at the 50, do they, on that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, they'll spot it at the 50.
That'll be a great opportunity then for an onside kick. I'm sure Centennial's aware of that also. I imagine we'll see about 9 guys up front for Centennial.
Well, let's go down to the sideline to Rick Mass.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I'm up here on the Centennial side with a couple of ex-Centennial alums here. We got Kevin Dolan, John Brooker, and Mark Dolan. And guys, guys, what do you think about the game so far?
It's been good. Real good.
Okay, and what about the chance? You guys watched some of the games back in 1972, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
And does this team have a chance to repeat?
Never.
Ever. Okay.
Yeah,
well, you got it. Okay. Guys.
Okay, thanks a lot, Rick. And there we see some people that think the old times are the good times.
Well, those might have been Reynolds fans.
Number 44, Tim Banker.
Banker to try the kick, and we would bet that it is an onside as we see Reynolds shift over, and Banker with the kick. Ball is
free. Reynolds got it.
Reynolds is down, and Reynolds has recovered.
What a break for Reynolds.
Big break as Chris Felton comes up with the ball. And perfect execution by Banker. That was an ideal onside kick. It was hard, it was low, it was bouncing.
You know, normally on the onside kick receiving team, you put all your backs and receivers up there. It looked like Centennial still had their regular kickoff return team up front. They had a lot of linemen up there. You know, when the ball's coming that hard, you just like to let the ball go behind you and let the people behind you get it and not try to make that move right off the bat.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Raiders with 3:13 to go here in the ball game. Down by a touchdown. Felton back to pass. The ball's caught down. It's a fumble. And we'll wait to see who comes up with it. It's Centennial.
Ball.
Oh, what a break for the Eagles. As the ball was batted away from Felton as he dropped back to pass, one of the linemen got his hand on it and knocked it down, and the Eagles come up with a fumble.
Tough break for Bowman. He was having such a good half, too. What a big break for Centennial. Right after that, that kind of took the heart out of them. All of a sudden, boy, they're pumped up again.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles now with 3:02 to go. Ball is marked at the 44-yard line. And timeout Reynolds, as Coach Kelly Larkin is on the field trying to question what happened. I don't know whether we'll have an opportunity to see that on a replay or not. It was a great defensive play by the Eagles, as the Eagles got through there on the pass rush and were able to strip the ball out of Kurt Bowman's hands and then come up with a big fumble recovery. So timeout has been called by Reynolds. We see Coach Chris Knutson there. And I'm sure the one thing that he would like to have right now is he would like to see that running game generate some time and some, off the clock.
Yeah, he needs 2 or 3 first downs. Eat that clock up a little bit. I'm sure they're not worried about scoring right now. They just want to maintain possession of the football and run the clock out. Now imagine the Reynolds, those defensive players are talking to each other. Somebody makes the initial hit, don't take the runner down, stand him up, and the next guy come in, try to strip the ball.
Yeah, one of the key things also in this situation too is it's a little surprising they took that timeout. I know it's a frustration and they want some clarification, but to take that timeout, that may really be a key one where if they can stop them here, that timeout could have stopped the clock maybe in between one of the plays.
Yeah, that would help the offense a little bit. But again, we're not sure exactly what the controversy was up there on that fumble. I'm sure Kelly wanted to get something, Kelly Larkin from Reynolds wanted to get something clarified with the officials.
So 1st and 10 now for the Centennial Eagles as the ball is marked at their own 43-yard line. Jason Grote, the quarterback, brings him up. Pardue, the up back. Watkins, the tailback. As they lead 34-27. Give us to Watkins straight ahead. John Watkins just pulls the pile with him. And Watkins, I tell you, he is a strong runner. He really hasn't had that much opportunity tonight to run the ball. Let's take a break and we'll be back right after this.
Also in on the tackle, number 75, Matt Davis.
Every year, thousands of people are killed with a frying pan. Reduce your intake of high-fat fried foods and help reduce your risk of cancer and heart disease. For a free booklet on low-fat eating, call 1-800-EAT-LEAN.
Okay, we're back, and the Eagles got a first down. Eli Pardue going up the middle and picking up the first down. Jason Grote trying to run the option to the outside was bottled up, reversed his field, and lost 2. So we have a 2nd and 12 now with a timeout called by Reynolds with 1:36 to go. Ball is spotted at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, big hit on that play by Matt Davis. Just kind of was scrambling around a little bit on the option, had to reverse his field, go the other way. And Matt Davis, 6'5", 260 of him, just swallowed through.
We need another first down.
The defensive group of the Centennial Eagles.
2nd and 12, need another first
getting
down.
instruction.
Get off the ball, fellas. They're going to
Correction, that's the offensive line
Get off the ball.
of the Eagles. And their job right now is really to try to make some kind of a hole to give Pardue and also Watkins an opportunity to run the football a little bit so they can eat up some more time.
They need probably 1, maybe 2 more first downs, I think, to wrap it up.
That was John Wolf, the offensive line coach on the sideline, talking to his group. So the Eagles come out now and get ready to line up with 1:36 to go here in the ball game, leading by 7. to Watkins straight ahead. Watkins finds a little seam, but not much. Picks up a couple, and the clock continues to run. It'll be third down now, and 10, and the Raiders take their last timeout.
Yeah, Mike Herman and Aaron Gergen on that play. That Reynolds front nine, let's call them. The Reynolds front nine has just done an outstanding job, you know, for the most part, this half of controlling that running game for Centennial. Of course, they've given up a couple of big plays, but nothing like the first half.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 now. 3rd and 10 for the Eagles as Coach Kelly Larkin comes out to talk to the defensive group and still talking to the officials about that previous play. But they burned all their timeouts now, so they will not be able to stop the clock. But they do have 3rd and 10. The ball is at the 45-yard line of Reynolds. So the Eagles either have to do something here. Terry, in this situation, you probably want the clock to run, so you would probably, not throw the pass here and just run and get the clock rolling and go ahead and punt the ball. And then,
well, you can it's two things. You can run and get the clock going, and now the clock is going on 4th down. You line up for your punt, you let the clock run out 30 seconds more, you take a 5-yard penalty, then you punt. And so you're eating up the clock, you're putting Reynolds in the hole. They're only going to have 40 seconds to go when they get the ball, I would think.
Okay, so the Eagles come out. Crucial play here, 3rd and 10 at the 45-yard line of Reynolds as the Centennial Eagles trying to hang on. They've lost that real explosiveness as the Reynolds defense has just played outstanding here in the second half and virtually shut down, except for one play, the Eagles offense. Gives it to Pardue right up the middle. Eli Pardue picks up about 4 on the play. So it'll be 4th down now. 4th and 6. And looks like they have cut the clock in, so the Eagles will punt, but I think they'll probably, as you said, Terry, let it run down here, as it'll probably be at about 40 seconds when it runs down.
Yeah, take a 5-yard penalty. They know there's better punting field position anyway. They want to down the ball inside the 10.
So the Eagles letting the clock run down, and there we see it, 38 seconds to go as the Eagles are assessed the 5-yard delay of game penalty. Now, if you're Reynolds, do you go for the block or do you go for the return and let Jake Osborne hopefully do something with the football?
I'd say I'd go for the block in this situation. You know, you're 38 seconds to go. If you catch the ball and you're able to run it back, even if you get a decent return, you're not going to get the ball, you know, where it is right now. Plus, you're eating the clock up. You're eating, you know, precious seconds off the clock. If you block it, you're going to get good field position, and you're going to have more time.
Coach Knutson calls a timeout here to make sure that everybody has their assignments with regard to the punt situation. You probably will not see the lack of effort in terms of rushing the punter that you saw in the last time that Centennial punted.
No. Then again, you know, if they do get the punt away, I would imagine you'd see a fair catch one way or the other, and not go for a return. That way you're not taking any seconds off the clock. So if they do get it away, expect to see a fair catch, or if it's deep enough, Reynolds just let the ball try to roll to the end zone.
So the pressure will be put on there's one of our cameramen high atop the stadium here, the press box. Beautiful conditions tonight, absolutely perfect homecoming conditions for the Centennial Eagles. Everything has gone just absolutely perfect for them, and we'll see if for 38 seconds they can hang on to this lead to make it an absolute ideal evening for everyone here during homecoming. Punt is away. Good punt. Angles it off to the sideline. Rolls down. 9-yard line. Osborne picks it up. Tries to and stays in bounds. Oh, finally he gets out of bounds with 24 seconds. And Terry, there was the one thing that you talked about that you really didn't want to have happen. You know, Jake has a great skill to run back punts and everything, but their time is a little bit more important than 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, probably, 3.5, 4 seconds hang time, another couple seconds to get the punt off. That took 38 seconds. We're down to 24 now. That was a 14-second play, and that's just not what Reynolds really needed at this point in the game. But Jake is explosive. He's thinking, hey, I'm gonna run this baby back. That's what's going through his mind.
Well, I think that's the one thing. He wants to win the game, and he realizes that he's had to carry a lot of load, and he's not afraid to take that responsibility upon himself. Bowman to pass, quick pass.
A little fancy doodle there.
Hook and ladder.
Jake's still on his feet.
Osborne's still going. He's got to get out of bounds in that situation. They get the clock stopped. No timeouts. 13 seconds. First down. The clock will stop for the chains to move up. But that's a situation where he had that sideline, and he needs to make the decision there to get out of bounds. So first and 10, but the first and 10 really doesn't matter as the clock ticks down. 10 seconds. Could be the last play. Bowman throws it up, and it is intercepted. Jesse Brand with a big interception. And that's going to do it, as there is only 1 second left on the clock. A valiant effort by Kurt Bowman to get the ball downfield, but he was hit just as he released the ball. And Jesse Brand comes up with a big interception. So the Eagles now, as the clock will start, as soon as the ball is put in play, they'll crank that clock up, and that will be the end of the ball game. They won't even have to run another play, and that's it. The ball game is over as the Centennial Eagles literally hang on by the skin of their teeth to win 34-27 over the Reynolds Raiders. And Terry, it's one of those games that I think Coach Nutz is just going to be happy to get the heck out of here.
You bet. 6-0 too.
6-0, 4-0 in league, and it's got to really be a tough feeling for the Reynolds Raiders. They played very, very well. Their defense, you cannot say enough about the way that their defense played in the second half. So we'll take a break and come back with some post-game information after this.
I'm Bob Hazelton. In 1977, I was a top heavyweight boxing contender, ranked number 12th in the world. Today, I'm crippled in a wheelchair. Do you know why? Because I use anabolic steroids. Steroids will destroy you, maybe even kill you. Steroids are a dangerous drug, and they're not worth the risk.
A public service message from the American Chiropractic Association and your family doctor of chiropractic.
Back here at Centennial High School, where the Centennial Eagles have defeated the Reynolds Raiders 34-27. Rick, a great way to end a homecoming night with a win like this. They had to hang.
Computer doctored photos.
They were fraudulent, doctored, and phony photos of two of his children.